With the shortest agenda, not the shortest video in the Business Central launch event for 2025 Release Wave 1, we have the presentation of the new Power BI app for subscription billing. Note that this will be not released in April, but in 26.1, so you have to wait an extra month for this. But I hope if you use subscription billing, that it's so much going to be worth it. Let's dive into Power BI and see what we have for you. The subscription billing module was released in the last release wave, but got an update here in 2025, release wave 1, where we are also adding an analytical part to it with the new Power BI app. So the first overview page in the app is the subscription billing overview. As many of the apps, we have this KPI overview with main KPIs here on the top bar. We have recurring revenue, active customers, and then you have different perspectives on your subscription billing. What I think you will find interesting is that, for instance, you have many of these reports have drilled through to details. So the top 5 customer by monthly recurring revenue, you can drill through to the customer contacts details here. So get to the transactions. This is something that is all over this app. And I think when you look at a subscription billing, there are basically 2 aspects of that's interesting for the health of your business. The first one is, of course, that you need to have recurring revenue. But the second thing, also very important for subscription businesses, is churn. So the cost of acquiring a new subscription customer has a certain cost, and you definitely want to make sure that your subscription customers stay on and keep being a customer. Therefore, churn is important. And we have a churn visual directly here on the overview that shows by month the churn. You can also recognize the same kind of picture here on the change in monthly recurring revenue, where the months where you have a lot of churn typically also are the ones where you have a decline in monthly change of recurring revenue. It doesn't have to be that, because you could also have months where you gain more than you churn. The report has a page here that shows you the revenue year over year. So you can see here in June we have the current year, and then you also have the previous year. So the 0.2K is what you find in the June of the previous year. So this is mainly an interesting thing once you have at least some data, but then you can track that year over year. In the revenue development report, you can see both the changes for new subscriptions, but you can also see both churn and downgrade in case you have like different levels for a subscription. So this overview here shows you all of that with the color coding that you can see here. But if you really want to understand what type of churn you get and like why and when, the churn analysis decomposition chart is the key. First of all, you have like a change in both downgraded subscriptions and churned subscriptions. You also have your churn rate KPI here, which in this case is your monthly churn rate, which is 0.34%. You want to make sure that you have this under control. And then you can simply dive into the numbers with this either on your own. So here's your monthly recurring revenue downgrade and churn. So these 2 together. In this visual here, it's already distributed over change type. But if I just remove these, I can have an AI explain or a statistical model explain the key contributors to my churn or my downgrades. It might be that you have not a lot of variation if the data set, then you get these flat structures, but hopefully soon we'll be able to see some variation of that. This is not going well. Let's just have a look. If not, then I might want to, okay, never mind. In this data set, the AI is not really helping, so I'll just do analysis myself where I go in and check out churn type. So let's just get rid of the last few here and simply say I would like manually to understand the churn type, change type here, and that divides this into churn and downgrade. And maybe I wanted to see that by geography, maybe I wanted to see that by customer, and then I can kind of understand my churn numbers. The next three reports are very similar. There's a revenue by item if you have different items in your subscriptions. There's a revenue by customer where you can see the revenue but by the customer dimension. And the final report here is by sales staff. So also something where you can look at your monthly recurring revenue that was sold by different salespeople. In this case, we have our old friend Jim Olive, and we can even, for Jim's, because I now know Joe is Jim's initials, I can even, if you remember the number 962, I can dive into the details of this and actually see the transactions behind this. These are all the customer subscription transactions, contract lines, and if I go down here and check out the revenue, change in revenue, it's 962. So that reconciles that report. The last report I want to highlight in this demo is the revenue forecast. So instead of looking backwards on what happened, you can use this to see what might happen as a forecast of the future. Note that this report does not take churn percentages into account. So just so you're aware of that. But now I can kind of see monthly revenue and cost. So one of these numbers, the blue one is the sales forecast, and the black one is our forecast for costs. So that concludes the demo of the new Power BI app for subscription billing. Remember that it's coming in May in 26.1. You get a total of, 14 new reports. So hopefully this will allow you to analyze your subscription business. And with that, I hope you have a great launch event for other sessions, because this session is over. Thank you.